This world is in disarray. I must eliminate the cause of this disorder and restore the world to its original form. That is my duty. Nay, the will of the world. Now, the time has come. The time to restore order.
Gado! Stop! Gado!
Shala!
Lady Meyneth. It is not far off now. A world in which there is no need for fear. The hour draws near. Our will shall soon be done. First, there is the matter of the Monado. Our victory can only be assured if we destroy the Monado before it's too late. I sense your existence. I know you are alive. Zanza, the hour is upon us. Your time has come.
Shulk. Shulk.
Who's calling my name?
Shulk, you have acquired the ability to glimpse the future. The ability to understand the law of causality as decided by a higher power.
A higher power? Like the Bionis?
Why do you desire to change the future? Why do you wish to act against their will?
I do just as anyone would do. It is natural to want to change an unhappy future. If that is their will, then I choose to fight.
If that is what you wish, Shulk, then you must find your Monado.
My Monado?
Precisely. The one true Monado.
You can't do that. Because you aren't here. Not anymore.
Is everyone okay?
Yeah.
That was a close one. I mean, how on Bionis did we survive that? We seem all right.
I don't know. It could be that we were just lucky, but I'm sure there must be more to it than that.
You were protected by the power of Lady Meyneth.
Who's there?
A Machina. Are you... Vanea?
Vanea? Does that mean you're Mikol's daughter?
I am glad you are safe. Lady Meyneth.
Lady Meyneth?
That face was sent to destroy you. I am truly happy you're all right.
You're lying. Gado would never try and hurt us.
Sadly, his home's memories no longer remain. The current faces are nothing more than weapons, designed to annihilate all life on Bionis.
It can't be.
Faces are created by directly integrating the brainstem and metabolic organs of Homs into Mechon. Memories and emotion are nothing but a hindrance to an effective weapon. However, the early faces were experimental. Many retained memories from their former lives. This prevented them from executing their missions effectively. More recent faces have had all memories of their previous lives completely erased.
Is that because of me?
No, it is not your fault.
Mumkar seems the more likely candidate. His attachment to us was too strong. You could say it caused his destruction.
That sword one and all.
You are correct.
No, it's not true. Oh, my Gado.
Sharla?
Explain it to me. I mean, why does Egil want to make us into Mechon? What's the reason for all this?
In order to counter the Monado.
I knew it.
The Monado is ineffective against the High Entier, the Homs, against all races of Bionis. Egil suffered a bitter defeat in the battle 1 year ago. After that, he theorized that he could counter the Monado by integrating organic life from Bionis.
Of course. Initially, the Monado couldn't take a Hom's life.
It can now, though.
It could not harm those who share the blood of Zanza. That was its sole weakness. But Zanza lifted that constraint.
Those who share the blood of Zanza? Who is that giant?
The progenitor of the Homs.
Him?
And once the friend of my brother Egil, before they became sworn enemies. It was Zanza who devastated Mechonis.
What?
Wow! Look at that! Are they the Havres?
They're the latest anti-Mechon weapons, designed by Lorothea and the Ministry of Research. What a glorious sight. The coming together of all the peoples of Bionis.
Yes, sir.
This is how it should always have been. Then perhaps Father would not.
Your Highness.
We are fortunate that Dixon informed us of the enemy's new weapon. Our defenses are ready. Today, we start our campaign against Galahad Fortress. Just beyond the fortress lies the imperial capital of Mechonis. This is a battle to determine not just our own fates, but the future of all life on Bionis. We fight for future prosperity and the glory and honor of all. Troops, advance!
Are you saying that Zanza is to blame for Mechonis' devastation? It's Zanza's sword that I'm using. Does this mean we're enemies? And if so, why are you...
Shulk, calm down.
Sorry, I
will take you to the Mechonis capital, Agniratha.
Is that your plan? Lead us straight to the gates of our enemy? Deliver us into Egil's hands?
It will be quicker to show you than to explain. Then you will understand the history of Mechonis, and the battle between the two titans. Up ahead is a lift that leads to the central factory, within the chest of the Mechonis. The capital, Agniratha, lies just beyond there.
Hey everyone, ArchTalko here, welcoming you back to Xenoblade Chronicles. In the previous episode, oh my god, we got to the end of Mechonis Field, we experienced one of the coolest boss fights in this game, and we got Vanea, who's a darling, a sweetheart, for two very good reasons. Anyway, today we're going to a brand new area. It's super cool. I also want to say real quick, like, before we hop onto the greatest innovation on the mankind, look at the speed that this moving sidewalk has. Oh my god. I love the fact that they put these red gate light things on too, because I feel like it really just helps convey how fast we be zooming. I also made a brand new Monado skin. I'm dubbing this one the ArchTalko skin, so that's pretty neato, right? Not nearly as neato as this door opening animation. God, I think it's the same one as the first door, but it never ceases to be amazing, man. Oh, I love the look of those doors so much. And speaking of just loving the look of things in general, we're all in for a treat. Because here's my thing, Mechonis Field, in my opinion, is one of the most fun levels to play through in Xenoblade. And I would even argue it's probably the most fun I have on Mechonis. But visually speaking, it's kind of samey, right? There's not a lot of flair, a lot of variety to Mechonis Field. Whereas here is a whole different story. Also, thank God that this elevator, hey, they listened to me. They put it in the glass elevator. That's all I wanted. Nice. Well, welcome to Port Terminal, and more importantly, okay, the Central Gate. Look at this place, man. Look at this place. I proudly welcome you to... Okay. Game, please. These black screens are killing me. I just want... Welcome to Mechonis Central Factory. One of the prettiest looking chests in all of video game history, only rivaled by Vanea. Okay, I'm done. No, I'm done. We're done with Vanea booby jokes. For now.
This is the central factory within the chest of the Mechonis. Can you see the ring up ahead? At the base of that ring is a transporter that leads to Agniratha. We must first head there. This place is full of autonomous security, Mechon. Tread carefully.
Look, you've already heard a snippet of it, but this song slaps like few songs can. So, let's indulge in it just a little bit longer. Wait, what? Oh, fuck! Die! Oh. I'll show you for interrupting my montage. God. Fuck. Oh, this place is so gorgeous. But with that, let's actually start making some progress. What do you boys say? First off, you'll notice this call panel, unfortunately, not active right now, but in due time, we'll probably find a way to activate it. Or, I don't know, maybe they just intended for that to never be activatable. That's probably what they wanted, right? Either way, want my mini-map to be good. And also, before we forget, let's go ahead and fill in our Collectopedia. I think we should have yeah, there we go. We got everything from Mechonis Field, easy peasy. Ooh, Taurus arms, nice. Agility up 4, not bad. I'm gonna give a big shout out. Ooh, days up 4. I'm gonna give a big shout out to my boy Water Boatman. Slippery lad. God, what a description. Love it so much. Let's see. We have, ooh, well, yeah, lightning defense is lame-o. Yeah, follow the oh, these gems are pretty underwhelming. I think the best one we got was that Agility 4. Tar's helmet for completing it. I mean, that's cool, I guess. We didn't have one, but I don't know. Kind of an underwhelming Collectopedia.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about too, Ryan. Ryan, you know what? I mean, it was a heavy armor piece. Obviously, Ryan wasn't excited about the landmark. He was just really excited about getting another heavy helmet that I'm never gonna put on him because I don't like the look of the Mechon set on Ryan. Oh god. We have a lot of affinity coins. I'm gonna go through real quick and let's give Charla some goods. Ooh. I kind of like that. Boost when her HP's full. Not that it would help a lot because it's strength. Ooh, duration of, you know what? That's the one. Duration of auras to help just further the drive boost build a little bit. Yeah. Nah, I'm not really seeing anything from Ryan, Melia. I'm gonna go through real quick and just check everybody else's. Nope, we are basically good to go. We really have reached that point in the game where we're getting so close to maxing everybody's skill trees out that if I don't want to be wasting SP, I just have to constantly juggle them. It's one thing I really hope with Definitive Edition. I hope that SP doesn't get applied automatically, but we can choose when and where to spend it so that none goes to waste. Like, it will kind of add, I won the stealth pass. Okay, fine. Oh, and they do system alerts, and now there's more jokers. All right, give me 1 sec.
That's how I like it, guys. Take them down in one fell swoop.
Ryan, it's swoop, not sweep. Did you even try to go to school?
Yeah, Ryan is cleaner, so like sweeping.
Why do I waste my time?
What does that mean, Ricky? Is he trying to say that Ryan is a sweeper, as in he sweeps through all the enemies with ease because he has sword drive and melts through them? Is it a compliment? He laughs like he burned Ryan, and is he even speaking English? Maybe not. Ah, look at these backgrounds. The moving parts are so cool. But also, this is a dead end, so let's actually go up. Also, I just want to say, I put a quick step 10% gem on Ricky, and combined with his other skill that gives him an inherent 5% movement speed boost on top of that, this boy be hustling. We are literally leaving Ryan and Charlotte in our dust, and I love it. Oh, one of those boys. Yeah, unfortunately, we're not super high leveled anymore, so there's a lot more enemy counters I'm gonna have to do and not be able to run past. All right. Not too bad. Although I will say the namesake of them being the worst does kind of ring true. Just kind of annoying with that cylinder hand attack and with them having that big topple spike. Not really about it. But you know what I am about? Look at this view, bro. Oh, look at that background. Oh, Spider-Man. The heckin' environmental artists are so heckin' talented, Spider-Man. Oh. Anyway. I'm trying to remember. I'll be real. Here's the big disclaimer about Central Factory. I do like this area. I'm not nearly as familiar with it as I am with Mechonis Field, so it's a little bit easier for me to turn around, and I just feel like I end up forgetting more things than I do with other areas in the game. But you know what? Don't forget. Mild Florence, just maxing and relaxing out here. He's not too bad, not a big deal. I think the biggest thing that he has going for him is his 3 little goons hanging out with him, but once we take care of these Mr. Beasts, it's really not gonna be much of a threat here. But while we're going through and just totally trouncing on Florence, poor boy never knew what hit him, honestly. One thing I'd like to draw more attention to, because we did bring this up, I think it was back in Galahad Fortress, or at least I think it would have been, when it would have been probably the most relevant to bring it up. But it's about the naming scheme of the Mechon, and the unique Mechon, specifically. Because a majority of the unique monsters in this game are named after the demons that are found in the Lesser Keys of Solomon, which is such a mouthful. But there's a big handful of unique monsters, specifically on Mechonis, specifically just Mechon, that aren't named after those demons, but instead after Arthurian knights. And Florence is one of them. And it's funny too, his name's Mild Florence, and it's this like level 58 pretty weak boy. He doesn't have any crazy unique battle arts or anything. Because also Florence in Arthurian legend was such a pushover. He's Gawain's second son. He did conspire with Mordred and the other one. Agravain, I think is his name. I always forget him because who cares when you got Mordred as like the main antag, right? And he literally, like, he conspires with them, and then frame 1, when that big climactic battle erupts from, like, Arthur's forces and Mordred's forces, whatever, when they're fighting over Guinevere and all that, Florence dies, like, frame 1. It's, like, one true call to fame. It's that he was Gawain's brother and he dies. So, yeah, I mean, just, like, bro, I didn't even have to, like, think while fighting that boy. He's such a pushover, and I love him because it's like the adjective that goes with him even knows it too. He's so mild. So shouts to my boy Florence for keeping it real in Central Factory. Also, hi, I'm so dumb. I was gonna go down the ramp, but you can literally just parkour this. Admittedly, I don't think Central Factory has nearly as many cool skips and platforming segments as Mechonis Field does, but there are still like little moments, and there's one moment specifically where there is one side area that's tucked away behind a little bit of platforming, so that's cool. But overall, not as much, but hey, when we can still find a little bit here and there, then we're always going to be the better for it, in my opinion. But, like, on the topic of the Arthurian stuff, I actually have like kind of a fun story about it. Or maybe it's not really a story so much as it's... Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. Let's take care of this boy before we get into it. Hold up. Alright, so now that we're not going to get interrupted, growing up, I actually had this really long phase where I was obsessed with fables and mythology and just general mythos and stories and all that. My mom and I moved to Michigan back when I was like 8. And right when we moved back here, my mom went back to college to get a bachelor's. And we didn't have a lot of money, so she couldn't really ever afford like babysitters for me. So anytime I had days off where I wasn't able to hang out with like a friend at their place or whatever, at least while I was 8 and 9 and like 10, later on then I would just stay at home. But when I still wasn't really old enough to warrant staying at home alone, I would actually go with my mom to her college, and every time I'd go, we'd always hit up the library, and I'd always have to check out a compilation book of different fables and stuff. I started with, I was like super obsessed with Native American stuff, and then after exhausted like all the dozen books that had all the Native American fables, then I actually moved on to Arthurian stuff. Hi, sorry, I'm a dummy. I was gonna go down the ramp again, but we can literally just drop down. If we want to, oh, ooh, and make a little bullseye too. Hell yeah. But yeah, so it started with Native American fables, and there's a lot of juicy ones. Those boys had some excellent stories, especially for like an 8 and a 9-year-old, honestly. But then it moved on to the Arthurian stuff, and I don't remember checking out a lot of books. I think they might have only had like 1 or 2 books on Arthurian stuff, but there was definitely one huge compilation of all the greatest and brightest stories from that time. And a lot of them have stuck with me. There are some amazing tales. So, excuse me? Angel Engine X's. Okay, yeah. We're gonna need 2 of those for Colony 6. And I guess a special note, hey, anytime you get one of those visions for Colony 6 collectibles here on Mechonis, make sure you get all the ones you need, because there will become a point where it'll become much harder to get the ones than just grabbing them here in these. Oh, Melia. Can't believe she's.
Sorry.
Really sucks that there's no landmark and I had to make the entire run back here, but it's fine. It's fine. Ooh? Are you the styrene sugar? Yeah, black styrene. Need 2 of these for Colony 6 as well. Make sure you got them, and 1 more extra for the Collectopedia. Bada boom, bada bing. You should be good. Anyway, with all that taken care of, we're basically now on to the next section of Central Factory. What's really cool about this place is that it's this big series of several very unique looking and very uniquely structured sub-areas. And greeting us here in this part 2 is Faithful Lancelot. Ooh, that's an oxymoron, huh? Because, okay. I probably don't have to explain Lancelot. I think we're all pretty aware of Lancelot. Or are we? Because here's the thing. Reading through the compilation as a kid, I was shocked that Lancelot's actually kind of a douche. He's kind of a scumbag. Like, he genuinely was a very handsome boy. He was Arthur's best friend, greatest swordsman, and like the best jouster in the kingdom. Very talented. But also did the enormous adultery with Guinevere, literally seduced her and like drove a wedge in between her and Arthur, and then ultimately became the catalyst that caused the collapse of the kingdom and the deaths of most of the knights on the Round Table in collaboration with Mordred and the other one, who I still don't remember because I'm a very good person. Lancelot kind of a bad man. So yeah, I don't know. Does it really translate over to Faithful Lancelot here? I don't know. I mean, you just saw. He's such a pushover. Both these, but we're 2 for 2 for these knight boys. Like being so uninvolved fighting wise. I can just drivel on about getting goods and services, worldly / books and whatnot, and not even notice what he's doing. You know. But also worldly / as a book, actually hype. We needed that for Dumban. Like, well, not desperately, but it's still super nice. So, cool. Charlotte, you're looking pretty good. Alrighty. So, you may notice that the walls aren't quite letting us go as far back as the mini-map looks, so maybe we'll find the way to maybe gain access. I don't know. But what I do know is that the weapon creation panel is going to be pretty important for a couple different reasons, actually. But first and foremost, oh wait, I'm going there, I'm right towards where we already were. One thing I will say, I really love the sequence of cutscenes that we get after the whole ghetto fight. Especially, man, there's that one moment where Dunban's riding his sword, and then Ryan stops him and shakes his head, and then Dunban's kind of like dejected, but he lowers his sword. Just one of those really tiny moments where there's no dialogue, but there's so much conveyed emotionally through that scene, and it's one of the things that Xenoblade does best, man. What a god tier name, by the way. Offensive Diary? I always read it as Offensive Dairy, which might even be better. Oh, imagine a glass of milk that calls you hussy, dumb, stupid, and goofy. That's the kind of lactose I could get down behind, let me tell you. Especially if it came from Vanea. Okay, no, we're done. We're not doing that. That's illegal. Forbidden. Just like I'm sure Vanea's would be. No, okay, now we're done. It's out of the system. It's not gonna happen again. You have my word. My honor as a boy. Either way. Using that panel will allow us to move forward, but also conveys a lot of boys. You cannot jump over that railing, which makes me a very sad boy, but more importantly, there's a second control panel that we didn't use. And I love this. This is so iconic to me. We activate it, and oops, all faced Mechon. I love that, like, oh shit moment of, oh, I just unleashed 3 Zords on myself. So cool. It's so cool. And it is worth doing it. It may seem like a trap, but we actually will get a big reward out of it. But first and foremost, let's go ahead and get these offensive founds out of the way. Interesting. I don't actually know what the difference is between these and the diaries, or the dairies. Except from the dairies obviously stinking up a whole lot more than the founds. Of course. There we go. Honestly, not too bad. I like the fact that even though those boys are flying, they can still get toppled. And I actually just recently looked up the fact that apparently Mechon get toppled for longer than normal enemies. Like, all Mechon universally get toppled for 4.5 seconds, whereas regular enemies get toppled for 3, without any, like, altering gems. But when we come down here, we have mass-produced faces and Temporal Gawain waiting for us. So before we fight him, let's go ahead and clear out some of these boys, just so we don't have any big interference, because that fight gets nasty. Alrighty. Get a little bit of party gauge. Oh, I was hoping we get a silver chest. Yeah, blood-stained face. Jesus Christ. Remember in Sword Valley when Chuck was all, no, Dumpan, we can't kill Mumkar. There's people inside now. People! And then just hard cut to us literally ripping the face off a man and putting it in our pocket. Like, what? Xenoblade! Xenoblade, bad! I feel like it's one of the very rare moments where there's a lot of narrative dissonance between the story and what actually happens gameplay-wise. No, it's fine. Obviously, the pilot was just ejected frame 1 before his Mechon body exploded and his face just like kinda caught on the edge, but he's fine. He's doing great. It's like a Pokemon KO, alright? Either way. Not too bad. Right out the gate, we're getting this little, this frame 1 chain attack, so. Oh god, oh wait, he has a topple spike, okay. Well, at least for that days, at least Ricky won't get hit by the spike. Oh man, this is gonna suck though. Ricky, if you want to maybe heal us up, that would be fantastic. Wait, why isn't it? Oh! It didn't show us getting KO'd because I have an undefeatable gem on Melia. Okay, so actually we need to keep the aggro on Melia. Okay, this is actually good. If I'm not mistaken. Hell yeah! Yo, let's go, Melia, taking it like an absolute chief. And then she takes the hit, so then the aggro gets off her. We're more than halfway down. Wow, we might actually be able to clutch this off. Oh. I see it. He's just looking at me, ominously. That was so weird. Was he paralyzed? Why did he take so long? Okay, well overall that was just a hot mess, but it's fine. I went ahead, I subbed out Fiora for Dunban because I feel like having Dunban who's actually properly kitted out to dodge tank and not just kind of exist. I think that'll make a big difference. We can do another chain attack right at the gate. I'm not going to activate the top spike this time, so I think this is going to go a lot better. And also, while we're fighting him, Gawain is a pretty interesting fellow. He's one of Arthur's nephews. He was definitely one of the most well-known knights of the Round Table. I think the one story that he's in, it's Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, is probably one of the most famous English stories of all time. And okay, legit, it's a really good story too. Like a genuinely oh God, if we can go one full circle for that full blossom dance, oh my God. Oh, come on. Dang it. We had like one, could you imagine? Oh, could you, it's fine. We'll still be fine. So basically what goes down is that this enigmatic, just tower of a man appears before Arthur in the court and challenges them to a duel. And instead of Arthur taking on the duel like what was intended, Gawain steps in and does it for him. And basically the Green Knight lets any of them strike like any blow to the Green Knight in exchange for promising the Green Knight to let him do the same to them a year later. And so Gawain does it, and he lops the knight's head off, and then the knight just picks the head up and says, all right, bro, see ya in a year, which is so metal and amazing. And then kind of like the poem goes into Gawain's adventures as he finds the Green Knight and stays true to his word, and it's this really nice, kind of wholesome story about following through with promises that you make and being honorable and all that jazz. It's really cool. So I love Gawain. Gawain's a good boy. He's a very wholesome boy, honestly. Much unlike his Mechon brethren. Nice. Oh, another face though. Oh God, I think we're 3 for 3 for getting faces from them. Oh man. Alrighty. Well, we've been playing as Melia for a pretty hot sec, so you know what? Let's play as Fiora, right? Yeah, sounds good to me. And with all that taken care of, we're now able to actually progress and actually move forward from this area. It feels like I've been here for ages, and I kind of have. I've been here for almost 20 minutes. Not even going for the ether crystals. I got better things to do, like eating lasagna and whatnot. Or we could just talk more about the story. That'd be kind of cool, huh? So I want to say, I like Godot in terms of like his use in the story. I think he's a good addition to the story to make Charla relevant again. And I like the handling of Charla battling with the fact that he's not the same Godot as she knew. The only thing is, like, coming from the guy who didn't see the Mumkar twist coming, or any of the other big plot twists that are alluded to pretty heavily, I was still able to pick up on Godot being alive and him being Jade-faced very, very easily, because they're super on the nose about it. Also, side note, if we come to this little side area, we get a little surprise quest to hunt down a unique boy. And actually, real quick, like, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of some of these ads. This will just make our lives a little bit easier. But anyway, like I was saying, I don't like that scene where it shows Egil in the control room, like, physically erasing the memories of Godot, and it like lingers on Charla, and he goes, oh, this one has memories of some Homs girl, and you know, it shows Charla dead, plain and center. Like by that point you're like, oh shit, Godot's alive, and there's no real mystery behind it. So when he finally comes out of the suit, like, you already know. I think it would have been cooler if that was just completely omitted, because then you would have this lingering like, oh, we're fighting a faced Mechon who is shooting us from like a long distance. He's playing like a sniper. Interesting. And then Charla has that one line where she just goes, oh, that voice, which kind of maybe clues you in. Oh, like, oh wait, is this Godot? Oh God, is my computer okay? Oh, turn the fried spaghetti with the enormous frame drops. Jesus Christ, that was a little deep fried. So, I don't know. I think it would have made the twist that Godot has actually had all of his memories erased and that he's a true puppet for Egil. I think that would have given a little bit more impact to Vanea kind of explain that, because then when Godot comes out and he's spewing all this Egil sounding stuff, and then it does that cutaway in between him and Egil, and then it layers their audio together. Look at this boy just wandering through and fro. Oh, he's still confused. Honestly, these boys kind of cute when they're confused. But I don't know, I just feel like there would have been more impact with Gado, and I feel like there would have been more turmoil with the player trying to piece together what the hell is going on, why Gado, who was so vehemently against the Mechon, would side with them and start spewing out all this anti-Homs stuff, you know? So that's just kind of my take on it. But overall, I think he's a fun boy, and I like Jadeface. I really do. It's a cool design, and the Gado's faced Mechon design. The way that he has that red eye and everything, and like the way that one arm kind of looks like beef jerky and the other arm's just all mangled and stuff. I think of all the face Mechon boys, he definitely looks like he's the one who had the roughest surgery done to him. And it's really cool that they go there with his body and with his design. Also, Jesus Christ, we've been picking up so many weapons. I'm gonna go through real quick and just update everybody's loadouts real quick like. I should probably just save this to the end of the episode, but I'm impatient. There we go. Protector daggers, it sucks they don't look as good as the Chaos Break, but they have more slots, so I can basically have Chaos Break and also haste on Fiora, so I feel like I gotta go for it, you know? I feel like I legally am obligated to. But as far as I'm aware, there's not a whole lot left to this area. I like that there's this sort of maze-like section with all these cool, huge containers. Kind of neato, but I think there's only like, yeah, some collectibles, and that's about it. So I'm gonna meet you guys back at where we need to go to progress properly. And here we are. I also really want to give big props to that scene. It has one of my absolute favorite bits of foreshadowing. I don't know if throughout the entire game, because there's a lot of good foreshadowing, unlike the Charla deleted memories scene, but it has an amazing little bit of foreshadowing. I'm not going to talk about it because it's super spoilery, but it's really heckin' good. It has to do with like camera work that's used in tandem with a certain voice line, and just the sync between the two is very intentional, and it's a spicy meatball. It's super good. But hey, we made it to the next section, which is probably my least favorite part of Central Factory, not even gonna lie. Exploration's cool, but there's a lot of jerkwad enemies. Like actual dick enemies. So for this part, we're gonna be using Charla a lot. I'm actually gonna be controlling her. I highly recommend that you have Charla along with you. I just, honestly, I recommend that you also use her. And specifically, we're gonna get a cure round on our palette. There you are. And hey, why not? We have some AP, might as well bump it up a little bit. It's gonna be handy. Because basically, how this area works, all those boys, those sonar heckin' looking ass bitches, they have huge sight cones. They can aggro to you from half a mile away. And their big thing is that they snipe you down, and they inflict slow on you, which halves your movement speed, and makes getting up to them a huge pain in the butt. So what you do is if you do get spotted by them, you just whip out, you start battle, you use Cure Round on the party, and so that way you can actually run up to them and not take like 40 years to get over to them in order to begin. So what we need to do though, we're not even gonna worry about them yet because we actually can't progress until we go over to this specific spot. So, materials for a bomb. Sure, we have the Monado, which can very easily cut through metal, but no, let's just blow the place to smithereens. I mean, to be fair, it kind of gives me Galahad Fortress vibes of not only are we infiltrating this big Mechon area, but we're also doing like irreparable damage to the facility itself, kind of hampering the Mechon forces as a whole. But is blowing up a vent the means of halting the production line? I don't think so. This is another case of I don't like this section because it's a very contrived, kind of padding-esque part of the game where it only serves to force you to explore more of Central Factory, which like inherently isn't a bad thing, because you know, it just you're getting out and you're seeing more of the level that the game devs created, which is nice. But it's super contrived, and I feel like there were plenty of other ways that they could have gone about warranting you to visit these different corners. Oh, come on, why? Fiora, we have not been having an issue with this attack. Fiora, why you gotta melt my system? Turn my computer into a Monday lasagna. Very rude. But yeah, so I don't have a huge issue with it. Honestly, I think the Sister Seals are way worse because at least this isn't really hampering the story pacing like Sister Seals does. It's just like a mild annoyance, but again, man, first playthrough. when I got to this section and I was like, oh, I just want to see more story, and now they're making me go find materials for a bomb. I'll never forget, I was pretty annoyed. I was pretty annoyed by it, but it's not a big deal. It won't take us very long. We already have the first part. We do have to fight that boy specifically to get the first part. But yeah, you know, while we're going through, I guess there are a couple unique boys that are hanging out on this floor, and they're really annoying. This floor in general, it has a fortress unit who's the biggest pain in the world. So I also don't really like this floor because between the sonar boys and between the unique monsters and between the roaming fortress unit who can totally interrupt your stuff, aka Rotbart, and lead to a world of pain, there's a lot of mild annoyances that get around. There's that slow going down. So we do the clear round, and just like that, we can actually properly run up there. And God, Ricky is booking it. Ricky angry. I didn't even put that art on him, and yet he's ready to just give this sonar the Glock, you know? But thankfully, at least, the sonars really don't have that much HP. Once you get up to them, oops, just smacked my keyboard. Once you get up to them, they melt pretty quickly, but that's their whole mechanic, is that they'll impede your progress and take forever for you to get there. And more so, their thing is they just take pot shots at you as you're trying to fight other enemies. So I always recommend anytime you get to this area, just make a beeline for them specifically before you try fighting anything else, because you'll just be you'll be a lot happier if you do. So speaking of which, if we go up here, and there's two of them hanging up on this walkway. Yep, there it is. So you've already seen me fight the one. I'm gonna go ahead, well, let's just cut through this. Oh, wait, apparently the flying guy was actually one of the guys holding the parts. I'll be real, I did not remember that. Okay, so two purposes for coming up here. Get rid of the annoying sonar boys and also actually get a part for the bomb, but I didn't remember it was up here. Oops. But there should be, yeah, there he is. Before we do anything else, there's a really cool way that you can fight a unique monster, and I'll be honest, I know he's halfway across here. I don't remember exactly where he is, but before we do any of that, let's get rid of this one as well. Okay, so this guy's taken care of. Oh God, where is it though? I want to say it's past this big container. Let's try it. Oh, I do. Okay, I see a boy over there. Yep, there is Gaharis. Oh boy. Okay, so here's what I like doing. First off, let's go ahead, let's get Melia out, because this is gonna be a long range battle. Sorry about that cut. I just had myself a little pizza. Anyway, so what I love doing, if you couldn't tell, we play ranged boys, and we stick up here. Sometimes Ricky falls off, sometimes Charlotte falls off, and they fight the boys down the ground. Meanwhile, as Melia, you just stay up the platform and you snipe away at them. It's so cool. Also, I'm just normally when you fight either this boy or the unique boy, they both aggro onto you, but we're just fighting the diary instead. But that's fine. Not complaining, made the fight easier. But, sir. You're really just gonna harass Charlotte like that and then poof out? Oh, and he's still alive? He got to harass Charlotte and then still live to see the day? What is this privilege? I can't believe this. Okay, well. Sorry. I wish I had something funny and cool and witty to say, but I'm just at a loss for words. That was incredible. Anyway, Gaharis is kind of not a pushover. The first unique boy that we fought that actually packs a pretty big wallet. It's part of the reason why I like fighting him up in this box, because again, if one or both party members fall off and start fighting him on the ground, then he spends actually a lot of time during this fight kind of flying up and down when you change aggro, which kind of like wastes some time and kind of helps mitigate some of the damage he puts out, because between him doing a lot of damage and also really massively defending against physical attacks, it can kind of be an ordeal. I love watching him drop like that. Oh God, oh, he's back. Oh, he's back. Yeah, I just adore this fight for this reason. It makes it so heckin' choice. Okay, I wish I could have seen what the camera was doing there, but no, that's fine. That's okay. Going into Gaharis as an actual knight, like an Arthurian boy, honestly, I couldn't really find a whole lot about him. The only thing I could find is that he's another one of Arthur's nephews, which is kind of interesting because Gawain and even Mordred are also Arthur's nephews. And also he and another knight named Gareth, who also might just be the same boy because there's a million different translations of Arthurian legends, and some depictions have him and Gareth as like brothers, but closely related and close friends, and other ones just combine the two into the same character. They're both killed by Lancelot while they're trying to rescue Guinevere, and that's about it. So it's weird, right? They kind of go out like busters, just like, oh, what was his name? I can't even remember it. Lawrence, just like Lawrence does. And yet the unique monster boy here on Mechonis, that's based off of him, is actually not that much of a pushover. So there you go. Do with that knowledge as you will. Well, what are you gonna do with it? Get mad puss, obviously. What else are you gonna do with a grimoire of Arthurian Knights of the Round Table knowledge? I got nothing. Anyway, we have one last bomb part left to get from this very gamer girl piss flavored hallway. It's actually a really cool area because if you just run through straight, you're gonna have a really bad time. But if you take the time to analyze the environment and see this ramp off to the side, you'll see these sonars walking along these elevated walkways and think, hey, we can take them out. So all the sonars have been cleared, and again, I highly recommend you actually come up here and do so because your life will be made exponentially easier, because who we're looking for is that boy in the middle, that M97. Now here's the fun part. I like playing as either Melly and Charlotte because the second we initiate combat, check it out, you send the other two boys. So, without further ado.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Central Factory Circuit Extraordinaire. Place your bets now. Who will remain victorious? Who will have to go back home in shambles? Will it be the Hero-hom or the hero of the pawns? Oh, it looks like, oh my
god, dude, Ricky is hoofing it. That's insane. He literally left Dumban in his dust. The true legendary Hero-hom. Oh my god. I can't believe I immediately got all the aggro. Okay, you know what? Let's just hop down and join the boys. It's fun to be up there and snipe the boys down, but if the dairies are gonna be all annoying in our faces like that, yeah. But one last thing I just really want to draw a little bit of attention to is heckin' Vanea. Vanea is such a sweetheart. I love her to pieces, even though her design is kind of a meme. What is happening with that frontal area? She's just super nice and kind, and I just feel like there's a big shortage of Vanea art in comics, and I hope with Definitive Edition, with just more people experiencing the game in general, I hope we can amend that, we can fix it, because I really do like Vanea a lot. Are there any other Vanea stands? Am I alone on this? Just in general, it feels like the Machina gals, in general, just don't get enough love. So this is my moment, my chance to shine a light on them, and then they can hold me in their strong arms, because they're very tall and made of metal, so they could probably support the weight of like one human boy.
Oh yeah. Hey bro, can we get a glass of the forbidden robot milk?
Although, okay, I will say the single thing about Vanea that really bugs me are those fingernails. They're just a little bit too long. In general, I can't do long nails. There's another boy a little bit later on who has somehow even longer nails, and it do churn the stomach for me just a tad bit, but besides that, she is perfect. Alrighty, and there we have it. We got all the parts. But unfortunately, that's all we have. We don't really have a functioning bomb. We just have some exploding ether and a spark and I think a casing? Was that the 3 parts? Either way, not actually a bomb. It still needs to be a weapon. And where do we know we could go to make a weapon? That's right, it's the maintenance wing. I told you this would be handy again. Really cool too. I love how you kind of make note of it and you're like, oh, that's weird. Can't really interact with this thing, but it's got a unique name and stuff. And then at the end of this sort of mini sub-region segment, then it becomes relevant again. Actually, a cool part of Central Factory. I do like that. Oh, I never actually... Okay, so you have to get a certain distance to proc the quest, but you have to go even closer to get a landmark, and I forgot about that, so I just ran this entire way because I didn't have a landmark. Anyway, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you all so much for watching me play. Wow, every day's a learning experience, what can I tell you? Next time on Xenoblade Chronicles, we'll set the explosive, bust our way in, and see what awaits us at the end of Central Factory. Until then, see ya!